Gotta check for that Rona. Okay.
That wasn't you at all.
Anyways. Welcome. Today we are going to be talking about 10 off-road newbie questions. First off, we are freaking Jeep Squad. I'm only half of it. The excellent wife is behind the camera here. You can find us here. We're also here. There's other friends here. Another friend maybe here. Somewhere down here. More you know, the more you...
We don't have that many friends, Jeff.
We have cool, sweet little business cards. We've also got heckin' adorable little freaking Jeep Squad stickers. She'll just like slap that right up.
Merry Crimmins. Shout out to Merry Crimmins.
Merry Crimmins, we got you. Cool. We are talking 10 things for when you're starting out off-road. So first off, we gotta cover the basics. What's a mall crawler versus a rock crawler? You might be a mall crawler if you've got a light bar instead of lockers. You might be a mall crawler if you've got 20-inch rims when you should have 17-inch rims. You might be a mall crawler if you go and duck other Jeeps. That's a controversial message. Pavement princess. So basically you never off-road, you just look the part, you ride around. It's okay. Jason's mall crawler. He's always looking for Starbucks or Sephora. He never finds it. If you're a mall crawler, there is help for you. Don't worry. Come to a beginner's ride when we go off-road. That leads us into our second question. Can I go off-roading in my stock Jeep? Depends on the type of Jeep. If you've got a Renegade, Trailhawk, Grand Cherokee, one of the newer ones, probably not. But if you got old Jeeps, Wranglers, pretty much good to go stock. It's going to depend a lot on your line that you take. You're going to want to have a good spotter with you. Go to an area that you have someone that's been experienced in that area. Definitely don't go out alone. Come out on a beginner ride sometime. Find a local Jeep group. Go out with them. We're based out of North Carolina, so a lot of the stuff that we say will be pertaining to North Carolina, but there's Jeep groups everywhere. You can go a lot of different places. Try to go out to a trail that is A, more beginner friendly, and then B, with someone who's more experienced. So UARI is the big place that a lot of us go down here in North Carolina. It's really beginner friendly on trails. You also have the opportunity to kind of grow into harder lines, but there's a lot of bypasses for the things. So definitely try to hook up with one of the groups that gets out there quite a bit. So yes, you can go off-roading in your stock Jeep, but depending on what type of Jeep you have, you might scrape things, you might bump things, but if you're going off-roading, you've got to be prepared to take possibly a little bit of damage. Not saying that you will, but it's possible. Off-roading involves risks, and your insurance doesn't cover you out there, so be careful out there. Next question. Big question we see a lot on Jeep pages. Can I fit 35s on my Jeep with no lift? If you have a Wrangler, specifically a Rubicon, then you will have no issues putting 35s directly on that 1.5-inch lift, whether it's a 2-door or a 4-door. If you're gonna go rock crawling, you wanna go rock bouncing, you're gonna wanna lift because you're gonna flex and you're gonna rub. If you have any other type of Jeep, a Sport, Sahara, you will rub, depending on the amount of off-roading you're doing. I'll leave that one up to you. Question of the day, submitted by our own Jason Valkyrie, is, which is more important? It's a good first date question too. If you're into Jeeping, good first date question. Light bar or lockers? Going out there with your light bar, is this gonna help? When you're out there on Dickie Bell and you're stuck, is this gonna help? Go. The answer is always go lockers instead of light bar. Our tech's got this nifty little light bar decal for all you wannabe mall crawlers. We're being super serious now. I'm sweatier than a motherfucker. So you're going off-roading for the first time. What do you want to bring? Well, First off, you're gonna want some way to air down your tires. Find yourself a good set of tire deflators. So the JT Brooks are pretty good. They're on Amazon. They're anywhere between $70 and $100 for a set of 4, but they're adjustable and you can dial in the pressure and then have it set. What do you want to deflate your tires to? It's a big question. Really depends on your rig, depends on the conditions, but in general, if you have stock rims, non-beadlock rims, you're gonna want to keep it above 18, 20 PSI. We run somewhere in the range of like mid 30s, low 30s, like 32-ish PSI. Now we both have beadlocks. If you've got beadlocks, your tire sidewall is being smushed between the rim here, or the bead is along here, and then it's pushed in and squished. So what that allows you to do is air down to a much lower PSI. For us, we usually go somewhere in the range of 10 to 12 PSI, but that's only with beadlocks. I would not recommend that with stock rims because you could debead your tire and have the sidewall pop off your rim. The other side of airing down is you're gonna wanna air up. So get yourself a compressor. If you're gonna get an air compressor that hooks to the battery to get like a very high flow rate one, or you can get yourself a power tank. It almost kills me.
Dead.
Dead. It really comes down, you could also get like an onboard air kit like Innovative AT products. The power tank and onboard air solutions are roughly in the same ballpark. Sway bar disconnects. There's another thing. If you have a non-Rubicon model, you basically have to take your end links off if you go off-roading. That'll increase your flex. You can either take the stock end links off if you want, or you can get adjustable disconnects. Since we both have Rubicons, don't need that. We have a little button we can push. Get yourself a good toolkit. That could be sockets, good pair of channel locks, vice grips, adjustable wrench, good tire pressure gauge too. You'll also want, depending on where you're going, get yourself a map. And you can get the map apps. No excuse not to have a map. Wherever you're going, get yourself a day pass or a season pass. This is for UARI. It's a season pass. Make sure you have a pass wherever you go. Make sure you got plenty of water. Also pack yourself food. You're probably gonna want lunch of some sort. Pack extra food in case you get stuck on the trails. You won't go hungry. Neither will everyone in your Jeep if you take this and you have a way to start a fire. You cook it on the fire. Ribcam. Oh my God. Oh, look. Oh! Well, I don't have a picture of it. Make sure that you bring yourself a med kit. You never know when somebody's gonna slip and fall or try to chop your leg off with a hatchet. Millions of people are affected by bad decisions every day. Get yourself a fire. Sure. That's the sound it makes. It goes. Pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, press the lever. Strap it to your seat, strap it to your passenger. Just get one. Don't forget yourself a chair. Couch chair. Chair. Get yourself a radio. Baofeng radios are super cheap on Amazon. They're like $40. Get yourself a flashlight. So that also leads into what sort of recovery gear do you want when you're off-roading. There's a lot to cover for recovery gear. The essentials to have. Now everybody's got their own opinions on this, so this is just what we think. Get yourself D-ring, a couple D-rings. Gonna wanna get a soft shackle. Get yourself some gloves, tire patch kit, tow strap. If you've got the money, spring for a winch. Get a Warn winch. In terms of capacity, two-door Jeep, you're gonna want roughly about 8,000 pounds is the minimum that you'd wanna get. If you have a four-door, 10,000 is the minimum. Go with synthetic cable, might be a bit more expensive, but there's a whole host of reasons why you would want that over steel. There's weight savings, there's longevity savings, there's safety where if the winch line snaps, the steel cable could seriously injure someone and the synthetic will not have that same problem. It's not gonna have as much kinetic energy when it snaps. It's also just easier to work with the synthetic. You don't need to, it won't destroy your hands like a steel cable will. Beyond that, getting tree savers, kinetic rope if you can get some, traction pads possibly, high lift jack. The essentials, just get yourself a D-ring, soft shackle, tow strap. That'll do you plenty fine, especially if you're with a group of advanced people or even intermediates that have some other winches in the group. You can get pretty much everybody unstuck with a tow strap and soft shackle and some D-rings. Trail etiquette. What is trail etiquette? Well, A, be nice to people out there. If you're going up a hill and going up a climb, you have the right of way. So if you're on obstacles and there's somebody that's spotting, that's pointing out directions of where to go and where to put your tires and giving you directions. They'll probably give you things like driver and point driver. That's your driver, your left. If they say passenger, you're gonna wanna turn your Jeep wheel towards the passenger. If there are other people spotting, try to keep it to one spotter. This is really a difficult thing for some people because everybody wants to have their own opinion on spotting. If you see somebody spotting out there, let them do it. They got it. Unless there's some serious safety hazard, let them do it. Let's say you're going up Dickey Bell, for instance. There's a couple different paths you can take on the harder section of it. Have one person on an obstacle at a time. Don't have somebody going up the left part of that hard section and the right part at the same time. No, just wait. This ain't Ultra 4 out here, boys. Don't be racing. Be nice. If you're on an ATV, a dirt bike, RZR, something that's fast and you know you're faster than Jeeps, be nice to the Jeep people. Don't go and cut them off and speed by them. And you Jeep people, let them by. Like, it's okay. If it's safe to do so, just pull off, let them fly by. Not a race. Another thing, if you're going out with a group, try to keep the group sizes a little bit smaller. Now, this is a little bit harder of a rule, but don't go out on the trails with 30 Jeeps in your group and all do the same trail. If you're at Uwharrie, split it up a little bit. Have a group of 10 go on this set, have a group of 10 do that. Nothing is worse than sitting, waiting behind 30 Jeeps trying to go up something. It's obnoxious. Don't do it, please. Another thing out on the trails, tread lightly. It's a program, you can go read about it online. When you're out there, you've got to respect the nature and respect the trails. Whatever you take in for trash, take out. If you see trail trash, bring along some garbage bags and put that trash in a bag and take it out. If people don't respect the trails and leave trash everywhere, stuff gets closed. Then we don't have fun. Stay on the marked trail. It's pretty easy. If it says no camping, don't camp there. Biggest rule for off-roading, do not drink alcohol on the trails while you're jeeping. No alcohol. Capiche? Capiche? You got all your recovery gear, you got a good idea of what's going on, you're going with a group, where do you want to go? If you're in North Carolina, there's pretty easy places. There's Brown Mountain, which has an OHV trail, as well as a lot of dirt bike and ATV trails. Pretty easy, no real rock climbing. Uwharrie National Forest is the destination in North Carolina if you're gonna go jeeping. There's all manner of trails there from beginner all the way up through advanced. You can go out to Patriot Mountain. It's towards Boone, North Carolina. It's run by a really awesome guy. What's Joel? Joel, if you see this, I love Patriot Mountain. Gotta get out there and go jeeping again. It was fun. If you're going out to Corolla Beach, submitted by Kevin Long, he recommends 15 PSI on the tires, slap that bad boy into 4 low, and just go slow. So if you're going to outside of North Carolina area, Gulches in South Carolina, absolutely fantastic. My personal favorite park of all of them, with the exception of Windrock, because Windrock's in its own category. Windrock in Tennessee, that is kind of East Coast Jeep Mecca. Oh, blinded by the light, copyright strike. Roush is another place up in Pennsylvania. It's a little far from North Carolina, but if you're looking for other beginner trails, Peters Mill is in the George Washington Forest. That is a great trail up in Virginia. You can go to Kairos. It's also got some good beginner trails. Bald Mountain in Virginia is also good. If you're going off-roading, regardless of where you're going, always go with another Jeep so you don't Jeep alone. That way, if one of you has a problem, you got a Jeep and a way to get out so you're not sitting there hoping that another Jeep rolls through. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be safe out there. And remember, you might get ducked.